Hello, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Hello, hello. Well, I decided to do this little video because there's a lot of controversial things happening on my page right now. And I'm going to give the context of, what the situation is with my folks, and I'm going to say it actually very directly. And first of all, they're lovely people, and my father basically was very involved in the steel industry for many years, and bought and sold steel mills and steel equipment and so forth, and taught me a lot about entrepreneurship in terms of in terms of the way that he can, right? And my mother is a very sophisticated scientist and also extremely intelligent, and she was a beauty queen. Even there you go. Hi, Holly. So what I want to address is really and where I'm at is I invested in a very high-end tech startup with this black guy you see me post on the page. His name is Manuel, and it's a very advanced technology concept, and so then it's very difficult for people to understand it, and it's not going to be publicly posted of what it is. You guys can PM me, you can call me, you can. I'll privately describe what this technology is, but I'm not going to publicly post it because I'm not able to. Okay, so essentially, this technology is very advanced, and it's something that also has a lot of a social mission component to it. So that social mission is much more, let's say, palatable and accessible to a younger generation, in my opinion. Okay, what's up, Johnny? So in my opinion, this social mission is far more easy for a younger generation to understand, relate to, and get behind. Okay, the older generation, we've got a lot of headwinds. So I mean, that's just the reality of what I have out of the pitches. Okay, and so we're kind of stuck in this between a rock and a hard place of where the older people, like we saw with the boomers, boomers with mission, the older people have all the money, but don't understand technology and in some cases social mission. The younger people have no money, but understand the technology and the social mission. So we're kind of so that's been our dynamic, and then it's been quite a journey with this, and I just I've kind of like given what I can give to it, and I'm in a position of obviously needing some external funding. I did raise about I raised a certain amount. I'm not going to disclose that amount. It's a significant amount of money. The struggle's real. Woo! That's for sure. So I raised a certain amount of money, and I got a certain amount of traction. But I think, the whole point I'm trying to make with the Boomers with Mission thing is, how can I put this correctly? It's kind of like there's a lot that we need to change in the world, because what I put on that site about we may have 50 years left as a human species on Earth, there are many people that believe that, okay? And you guys can fact check that. And for people that go, and I'm sorry, this is the one, I'm pretty much agnostic about most things. And I know to anybody who's going to deny the climate change thing, guys, that one I'm not going to mess with. Because for 200,000 years, we weren't driving X5s all over the place, man. We weren't driving AMG Mercedes, all these cars. We weren't polluting the earth, right? And so, I think it's almost undeniable. I mean, how can you say, well, look at the CO2 emissions of, time periods way before this. It's just we're at a different time period in terms of emitting CO2. So and whatever else going to change the earth. So I mean that's just logic to me. But anyway, the net is that given that sort of working backwards from that, right? Because if it was any other generation, if it was any other time, then we could just chill out and say, well, yeah, man, we made a whole what's up, Cornel? We made a whole Gilded Age, because this generation, I mean, what I tell my parents, like this generation of, like 19, let's say that, 1950s in America until, now basically, if you look at human history, I mean, that is the wealthiest and most longevity generation that has ever existed in the existence of humans. As far as I know, if there's something else, please correct me. I'm open to correction. I'm open to suggestion. I'm open to discussion. Okay? Guys, I can see a lot of different perspectives. Look at the post that I put. I can see the perspective of, on one hand, and this and the divide that's happening here, and this is what's happened in America is, like I said, 6 hours from Pittsburgh is Greenwich, Connecticut. That's where I've been hanging out. Do you know what's in Greenwich, Connecticut? A lot of really, really super ultra mega whale people that are really rich and very powerful, okay? And their ideals and their, what happened? Oh, let's take the contrast of what happened on my page, right? Of you have the worldview of Greenwich, Connecticut, which basically controls most of the world's wealth in terms of at least, the hedge funds and all this stuff. And you have the worldview of, let's say, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is a humble, kind of salt of the earth place and a working class place, right? And so the world, so the worldview up here is, hey, let's take everything over. Let's let's create wealth. Let's create wealth. And creating wealth isn't necessarily a bad thing if there's some philanthropy behind it. Is philanthropic efforts. The worldview of Pittsburgh is, hey, let's show up, let's do a great job, let's get our work done, let's go home, and let's hang out, let's go to the Steeler game. What's up? Speaking of Pittsburgh, okay? So, what I'm saying? So, and both of those can exist, they both have benefit, they both, in one sense, the granite, Greenwich attitude is this just total mogul. Yeah, let's do it. Let's conquer. Let's create. Let's employ. Let's do this. And that is not the most humble attitude. And then in Pittsburgh, yeah, let's do our work. Let's get it done. But let's remain and have an attitude of humility and let's just be salt of the earth people. So both of those are valid. Both of those have effectiveness, but one does not want anything to do with the other, and one is literally 6 hours from the other in America, in the same country. And it might as well be two different countries at this point, guys. Okay? I'm telling you right now. I mean, I have some family watching. What's up? Hey, Jim. I will say that, for example, okay, I had a conversation with a relative who will remain anonymous. And this person said, quote unquote, I want nothing to do with politicians and one percenters, right? And that person can be back entitled to that opinion, right? Versus up here, I go out to Lascaux, or I'll go out to a high-end place, and, they're not really interested in going down to Pittsburgh and being an electrician or something. Okay, so but both are valid, both are needed, both can exist and be respected as worldviews, right? So that's what it's about, guys. But basically, what I'm in the middle of is one of the biggest worldview clashes that I've ever experienced. Okay, that I've experienced in my life, and it is at the center of what is creating the divide in America. So, that's what I got to say, guys. But I love you all. And all these comments on my page, and Janet and my mom and my sister and my dad and everybody that I'm involved with in this, you guys are great. And again, I try to be a diplomat, a real one, okay? And a diplomat, I try not to react, I try not to judge, and I try to facilitate. That's what I can do. So I'll leave you guys with that. Amazing. I just wanted to comment on that. And then you guys can comment. I want you guys to comment on this video is what I really want. And I want you guys to actually watch this as opposed to just watching a little tidbit, right? See, when you get a snippet, you respond with a meme. That's what that guy put on my page. He said, I saw something. See, that's what the problem is. There's no attention span. Okay? We need longer term of attention span because we need to deal with problems that are significant and that are going to have significant impact for generations and thousands of years. So, peace.